The Galactic Arena was a massive space coliseum filled with roaring crowds who watched the most powerful warriors of the galaxy face off in intense combat. Beings from all across the stars, each more advanced than the last, came to prove who was the strongest. Some had advanced technology, others had powerful alien biology, and most had been training for decades to be the very best. But all of them shared one thing in common: they had never seen a human fight. Jack Blaze Mason, a 22-year-old fighter from Earth, stepped into the arena with a look of fierce determination on his face. He was human. And to the crowd, that meant nothing. The aliens that had come to watch were used to seeing beings far more dangerous than humans, creatures with advanced cybernetics, massive alien strength, and weapons that could obliterate entire cities. So when Jack walked into the arena, most laughed. Some made bets that he'd be defeated in seconds. His human body, with no enhancements or technology, was nothing more than a curiosity to the alien spectators. But Jack wasn't worried about their doubts. He had something no alien had: the will to survive, the will to fight. For Earth's inhabitants, survival wasn't a matter of advanced technology or superior weaponry. It was a matter of the heart. Jack had been tested in real combat. He'd fought wild beasts on Earth, survived extreme environments, and outlasted disasters that would have killed most people. In short, Jack had one thing the aliens could never truly understand: pure, raw survival instinct. The first fight took place against an armored alien who stood twice Jack's height. The alien was a massive creature, covered in thick black exoskeletons and armed with jagged blades that could cut through steel. The crowd roared as they thought the match would be a quick one. Jack had no high-tech armor, no weapons, nothing. But he had something more important: his fighting experience. The match began. The giant alien lunged at Jack, swinging its blade with terrifying speed. The crowd gasped, thinking it was over before it even started. But Jack was fast. He dodged the attack by a hair, ducking low and using his small size and quick reflexes to his advantage. The alien slashed again, but Jack moved like a blur, landing a hard punch to the creature's side. The alien howled in anger. Jack didn't wait for it to recover. Using his agility, he launched himself forward, grabbed the alien's blade with his bare hands, and twisted it out of the creature's grip. The alien, shocked by Jack's speed and strength, staggered back. Jack was relentless. He continued to strike, wearing the creature down with each blow. In a few short minutes, the alien was on the ground, defeated. The arena went silent. No one had expected it. The humans weren't supposed to win fights like that. The silence in the arena was deafening. The crowd couldn't believe their eyes. Jack Mason, a human, had just defeated one of the most dangerous aliens they'd ever seen. The alien, who had been deemed unstoppable, lay defeated on the cold stone floor of the arena. The announcer, stunned, didn't know what to say. He glanced nervously at the other fighters. Jack stood tall, breathing heavily but smiling. He had just shown everyone that humans weren't the weaklings they thought they were. One by one, Jack faced opponent after opponent. Some were skilled with weapons, others had superior strength or advanced technology. But no matter what they brought, Jack was always one step ahead. He didn't need fancy gadgets or high-tech gear. He had the survival instinct that had been honed on Earth, a planet that was home to some of the most dangerous creatures and environments in the galaxy. Jack adapted quickly to each new challenge, using his experience and raw willpower to outlast his opponents. With each victory, Jack gained more respect from the audience. The aliens, who once laughed at him, now looked at him with wariness. They had expected an easy fight, but Jack was proving them wrong over and over again. He won every match with nothing but his wits, strength, and sheer determination. But the more he won, the more the aliens started to question their own methods. Most of them relied on technology and artificial enhancements, believing that those things were the key to victory. But Jack didn't need any of that. His fighting style was brutal, yet efficient. He didn't fight for glory, he fought to survive. And that was something no alien had ever seen before. The final battle was against the undefeated champion of the arena, an alien warrior enhanced with cybernetic limbs and the latest in battle technology. The champion was faster, stronger, and far more advanced than any creature Jack had faced. His armor alone weighed more than Jack himself. The audience thought that this would be Jack's last fight. But Jack wasn't done. He stepped into the ring, eyes locked on his opponent, and the battle began. The alien's movements were quick, its strikes powerful, but Jack was relentless. He used every ounce of his strength to dodge and counter, turning the fight into a brutal test of endurance and willpower. The fight lasted longer than anyone expected. Jack's human body was bruised and battered, but he refused to quit. He saw his opportunity in the alien's overconfidence when the champion launched one final strike. Jack caught the blow with his bare hands and twisted the alien's arm, sending the cybernetic warrior crashing to the ground. The arena erupted into deafening cheers as Jack Mason stood victorious. He had done the impossible. He had defeated the strongest fighter in the galaxy. The crowd, once filled with doubt, now understood. Humans may not be the most advanced in technology or enhancements, but they had something no one else did: the heart and soul to fight, to survive, and to win. The galaxy now knew that humanity wasn't weak. When it came to survival, no one was better than a human. Jack had proven it, and as he raised his fist in triumph, the entire arena roared in approval. For the first time in history, the galaxy's most feared warriors were forced to accept it. Earth's Deathworlders were not to be underestimated. The Galactic Arena was the ultimate stage for warriors from across the galaxy to prove their strength. It was a massive, high-tech coliseum that broadcasted battles to millions of viewers. Every warrior who stepped into the ring was an elite fighter, equipped with the latest technology, advanced weaponry, and alien enhancement. It was a place where only the strongest survived, and the human race was far from considered one of the strongest. But then, Sarah Storm Carter, a young fighter from Earth, stepped onto the arena floor. The crowd watched with skepticism, some even laughing. A human? A mere Earthling? Without any enhancements or advanced weaponry? What could she possibly bring to the fight? Sarah didn't care about their doubts. She had spent her entire life fighting to survive. She had been trained in the gritty streets of Earth, where survival wasn't about shiny technology or fancy gadgets. It was about raw instinct, determination, and the will to fight no matter what the odds were. And today, she was about to show the galaxy exactly what that meant. The first match began, and Sarah faced off against a towering alien with glowing green eyes and deadly laser claws. The alien's reputation had already preceded it, an undefeated warrior, feared across the galaxy for its strength and technological enhancements. The crowd buzzed with excitement, betting on how quickly Sarah would be defeated. As the fight started, the alien charged forward with a speed that almost made Sarah dizzy. Its claws crackled with energy, ready to tear through anything in its path. Sarah ducked and dodged, her reflexes sharp and fast, surprising everyone watching. She had no advanced technology, no shiny weapons, just pure survival instinct. The alien swung its claws, but Sarah's agility kept her one step ahead. It was clear that the alien thought Sarah was just another weakling, easy prey. But Sarah wasn't just going to fight. She was going to survive. She waited for the right moment. When the alien's claws missed by inches, she lunged. With a quick strike, she jabbed at its exposed side, landing a blow that sent the alien stumbling back. The audience gasped. No one had expected her to fight like this. No one had expected a human to be this good. In just a few moments, Sarah dodged another laser attack, gripped the alien's arm, and with all her strength, twisted it in a move she'd perfected in the streets. The alien howled in pain, falling to its knees. Sarah didn't hesitate. She slammed her fist into the alien's face, knocking it out cold. The crowd went silent. The impossible had happened. Sarah Carter, a human, had just defeated one of the galaxy's greatest warriors. The arena was stunned. No one had ever seen a human fight like this before. The crowd, who'd been skeptical of her from the start, now looked at Sarah with awe. She had fought with no weapons, no technology, just her raw strength and unmatched instincts. She hadn't relied on anything other than her ability to survive. As the next rounds went on, Sarah continued to defy expectations. Each match brought a new challenge, a new enemy. Some were skilled with weapons, others with psychic abilities. One of her opponents had telekinesis and tried to crush her with invisible force, but Sarah was quick on her feet. She dodged, ducked, and countered with a ferocity that none of the alien warriors could match. Sarah's adaptability was her greatest asset. She didn't need tech to win. She used her environment, her street fighting techniques, and the grit she had honed from surviving tough situations. With each win, she built more respect among the crowd, and even some of her fiercest opponents started to doubt their own reliance on technology. By the time Sarah made it to the final round, she was no longer just an underdog. She was a symbol of something the galaxy had never seen, a human who could fight and win against the best. In the final match, Sarah stood face to face with a being that could only be described as a perfect fighter. The alien known as Zethar had cybernetic limbs, enhanced strength, and a full arsenal of weaponry. Zethar had never lost a fight, and the crowd expected the battle to be over before it even began. The match began with a flurry of attacks. Zethar's cybernetic arms swung with inhuman speed, and laser beams fired from every direction. The crowd cheered, thinking it was only a matter of time before Sarah fell. But Sarah stood her ground. She knew she had to use every ounce of her resourcefulness to survive this one. Zethar's advanced technology may have given it power, but it lacked something that Sarah had in abundance: the will to fight with everything she had. Sarah used her knowledge of survival tactics, dodging and weaving, using the environment to her advantage. Zethar's attacks became more erratic, and Sarah found the gaps in its defenses. With a clever move, Sarah managed to disable one of Zethar's cybernetic limbs by striking at its weak points. Zethar was shocked. No one had ever managed to get that close before. With her opponent weakened, Sarah took her chance. She ducked under Zethar's remaining arm and landed a powerful blow to its chest. The crowd held their breath as the alien stumbled, unable to recover in time. With one final punch, Sarah knocked Zethar to the ground, defeated. The arena erupted into thunderous applause. Sarah had done the impossible. She had just defeated the perfect fighter. The crowd, once skeptical, now hailed her as one of the greatest warriors they had ever seen. Sarah didn't have the best technology, the most advanced weapons, or the enhancements that the other fighters had. But what she had was something far more important: the will to fight, to survive, and to never give up, no matter what the odds. As she stood in the center of the arena, bloodied but victorious, Sarah knew she had proven something bigger than herself. The galaxy had underestimated humanity, but now they would understand. Humans may not have the most advanced technology, but they had something far stronger: the will to survive. And that was the most powerful weapon of all. From that moment on, Sarah Storm Carter became a legend across the galaxy. Humans were no longer seen as weak. They were seen as survivors, warriors who could stand toe-to-toe with the greatest the galaxy had to offer. And with Sarah leading the way, the galaxy realized that the most dangerous species in the universe was not the one with the most technology, but the one with the fiercest heart. The human heart. The Galactic Arena was a place where the strongest warriors from across the galaxy came to prove themselves. Species from every corner of the universe, creatures with powerful abilities, advanced technologies, and centuries of battle experience gathered to fight for honor and glory. For as long as anyone could remember, humans had been seen as weak, primitive creatures. They were rarely considered formidable opponents. But all of that was about to change. Ethan Viper Lee, a 25-year-old human fighter from Earth, entered the Galactic Arena with a single mission: to prove to the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. As he stepped into the vast, glowing arena, the crowd stared at him, unsure of what to expect. What could a human possibly bring to the table in a place like this? The aliens in the stands laughed and jeered, certain that this was going to be an easy fight for them. Ethan wasn't intimidated. He knew what people thought of humans, and he was determined to change that perception. He wasn't a fighter who relied on high-tech gadgets, advanced weaponry, or enhancements. He relied on something much more dangerous: his body, his mind, and his willpower. His training on Earth had been tough, full of hardships, but it had shaped him into a fighter unlike any other. His whole life, he had been taught to rely on survival instincts, toughness, and an unshakable determination. The first match was against an alien beast, a terrifying creature with sharp claws, glowing red eyes, and massive fangs. It was the kind of opponent that would have made any other fighter hesitate. But not Ethan. With swift movements, he dodged the creature's attacks, using his speed and agility to outmaneuver it. The beast tried to swipe at him, but Ethan was faster, landing a series of well-timed punches that brought the creature down. The crowd was silent, stunned by how easily Ethan had defeated such a fearsome opponent. Next, Ethan faced off against Cyborg's dangerous warriors, with metal limbs and enhanced strength. They were built for war, with weapons built into their bodies. The audience was sure Ethan wouldn't stand a chance, but once again, he proved them wrong. No fancy weapons, no high-tech gear. Ethan relied on his physical training, his quick reflexes, and his ability to read his opponents. With every move, he showed that strength wasn't just about machinery. It was about being able to think on your feet, adapt to any situation, and overcome every challenge with nothing but willpower. After the cyborgs, Ethan went on to face highly trained alien warriors. These fighters were the cream of the crop, the best the galaxy had to offer. They wielded advanced plasma blades, and their combat styles were flawless. The aliens were confident no human could beat them. But Ethan never let doubt cloud his mind. He knew the only way to survive was to keep pushing forward, no matter how hard the fight became. Ethan's technique was simple, but incredibly effective. He focused on precision, using his opponent's momentum against them. Where others relied on fancy tricks and advanced tech, Ethan used what he knew best, survival instincts. Time and time again, he took down opponent after opponent, each battle more intense than the last. The crowd that once laughed at him began to look at him with growing respect. As Ethan's victories mounted, something began to change. The other elite warriors started to worry. These aliens had spent their entire lives training with advanced technology, believing that strength and skill came from machines and enhancements. But here was a human, a fighter with no extra abilities, no high-tech weapons, defeating them with nothing but raw determination. How was he doing this? The more Ethan fought, the more the other warriors realized they had underestimated humans. Ethan wasn't just a fighter, he was a survivor. His ability to think quickly in the heat of battle, his relentless drive to win, and his refusal to give up had made him a true force to be reckoned with. The more victories he claimed, the more the galaxy began to see humans differently. They weren't weak, they weren't primitive, they were warriors, just like everyone else. Maybe even more dangerous. In the championship match, Ethan faced the undefeated alien champion, a being called Torak, who was enhanced with powerful cybernetic implants. Torak was a living weapon, nearly invincible. Every fighter who had faced him before had been crushed. The odds were stacked against Ethan, but he was ready for this. This wasn't just a fight for glory, it was a chance to prove that humans could stand toe-to-toe with the galaxy's greatest. The fight began with Torak charging at Ethan with immense speed, swinging his heavy cybernetic arms. Sparks flew as Ethan narrowly avoided each blow, his heart pounding in his chest. Torak's strength was overwhelming, but Ethan didn't back down. He was quick, his body moving with practiced precision, dodging the alien's strikes and countering with sharp, well-placed hits. Ethan knew he couldn't win by strength alone. Torak's cybernetic enhancements gave him an edge, but Ethan had something Torak didn't: human ingenuity. He saw weakness in Torak's movements, a slight delay in his robotic enhancements. Ethan exploited that weakness, using it to his advantage. With a final powerful strike, he disabled Torak's cybernetic arm, knocking the alien to the ground. The crowd gasped. No one had ever thought a human could defeat Torak. But Ethan had done it. He had proven that, despite the lack of advanced technology, despite the underestimation of his species, humans were real warriors. And he was their champion. The galactic arena erupted into cheers as Ethan stood victorious. The galaxy had seen humans as weak, but after this fight, they would never make that mistake again. Humans didn't need advanced technology to be great fighters. They didn't need cybernetic enhancements or powerful weapons. All they needed was their will to survive, their instincts, and the courage to face any challenge head-on. Ethan Viper Lee had shown the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. In the end, it wasn't technology or enhancements that made a true warrior. It was the heart, the soul, and the will to fight against all odds. The galaxy would never see humans as weak again. They would see them as the real warriors they truly were. The Galactic Arena had always been the place where the galaxy's mightiest warriors fought for fame, honor, and ultimate power. Spectators from across the universe gathered to watch beings from different species, each with advanced technology, cybernetic enhancements, and highly evolved combat abilities, battle it out for the top spot. And for centuries, humans had been dismissed as weak, primitive creatures, unworthy of being considered true warriors. But one fighter from Earth was about to change that perception forever. Maya Iron Woods, a fighter who had grown up in the harsh environments of Earth, entered the Galactic Arena ready to prove something. She was fully aware of how the galaxy viewed humans, small, fragile beings who couldn't possibly stand up to the might of technologically advanced species. But Maya didn't care about being underestimated. She knew that strength wasn't just about the gadgets and enhancements. True strength came from within. When Maya first stepped onto the arena's stage, the audience let out a laugh. There she stood, just a human, with no visible enhancements, no fancy armor, and no high-tech weapons. She was dressed in a simple combat suit, nothing special compared to the other warriors. The aliens in the stands shook their heads, thinking it would be an easy victory for whichever opponent she faced. After all, they had technology that could slice through steel, weapons that could cut down entire armies. Humans had nothing of the sort. But Maya had something the aliens couldn't even begin to understand: raw power, speed, and heart. She wasn't interested in technology or the latest gadgets. She was there to show the galaxy what a human could really do when pushed to the limit. Her first opponent was an alien from a distant star system. The creature, tall and imposing, was armed with a plasma rifle and a plasma shield, both glowing with energy. It didn't even bother to take Maya seriously at first, assuming her lack of technology meant her defeat was inevitable. The alien fired a series of blasts from its weapon, confident that Maya wouldn't be able to dodge them. But Maya was faster than anyone expected. She ducked and weaved, her movements swift and controlled. The crowd gasped as she closed the distance between herself and the alien in mere seconds. Without the help of any advanced tech, Maya used her sheer strength and agility to disarm the alien. In a few quick moves, she knocked the weapon out of the alien's hands and brought it to the ground, her fists landing with precision. The crowd was silent, stunned by the unexpected turn of events. The alien, who'd been so sure of victory, now lay on the ground defeated by a human who had no fancy gadgets or enhanced strength. Maya's victory was a wake-up call for everyone watching. Humans weren't as weak as they were made out to be. As the tournament continued, Maya faced opponent after opponent, each one stronger and more advanced than the last. Yet, she kept winning. Her battles weren't won with flashy weapons or technological enhancements, but with pure willpower, intelligence, and resourcefulness. In her second match, she faced an alien warrior equipped with a set of energy blades. The alien moved with lightning speed, but Maya anticipated each strike, dodging and countering with expert precision. She used the alien's own momentum against it, grabbing a momentary opening to knock the fighter out of the ring. The more Maya fought, the more the other competitors began to realize something they hadn't noticed before. Humans didn't need technology to survive. They relied on their instincts, their adaptability, and the strength of their hearts. Maya wasn't just surviving these battles, she was thriving. And with each victory, the alien fighters' respect for her grew. They began to see that humanity's strength wasn't about what they didn't have, it was about how they fought with what they had. Maya's journey brought her to the final round of the Galactic Arena, a match against the reigning champion, an alien named Zorlok. Zorlok was a terrifying opponent, with a fully cybernetic body and advanced weaponry embedded into his limbs. His physical enhancements made him nearly invincible, and he was a seasoned fighter who had never lost a match. No one believed that Maya had a chance. The final battle began with a loud roar from the crowd. Zorlok immediately launched a barrage of energy blasts at Maya, his cybernetic arms moving with incredible speed and precision. Maya could feel the intensity of the fight. Every muscle in her body screamed for her to give up, but she refused. She dodged, she parried, and she attacked with everything she had. Knowing that this was the fight that would determine everything. As the battle wore on, Maya began to wear Zorlok down. His movements slowed, and she saw the tiniest gaps in his defenses. She had to be quick. With one final move, she leapt forward, using her natural agility to dodge Zorlok's strike and land a direct blow to his core. The force of the strike knocked him to the ground, and the arena fell into stunned silence. Zorlok, the champion, had been defeated by a human. Maya's victory was more than just a personal triumph. It was a turning point for the entire galaxy. The crowd erupted into applause, and warriors from every species, once so confident in their technological superiority, now understood the lesson Maya had taught them. Strength wasn't about gadgets or advanced tech. Strength came from the heart, from the will to survive, and from the courage to never back down, no matter the odds. Maya Woods had proven that humans were not weak. They were warriors in every sense of the word. And as she stood victorious in the galactic arena, the galaxy's view of humanity had changed forever. No longer were they dismissed as fragile or unfit for battle. Humans were fierce, capable, and could fight and win against any foe.